This podcast will speak to many wonderful people about how they became the incredible story that they are. We are celebrating all levels, all industries, and all of the steps that come on the journey to get there. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I'm your host, Grace, and today we have John-Paul Ennis joining us to teach us how to become a mayor, which is amazing. Thank you so much for coming on.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So if you could just outline a bit about what it is to be a mayor, the mayor of Lambeth, I should say. So what's that all about? What do you do?
So as mayor, I'm a civic mayor, which means I'm the face of the borough. So I'm the first citizen of Lambeth. So technically the most important person in the borough.
Nice.
Always believe that a little bit anyway. But it basically means that I'm the public figure. I'm the representative. So I have to do loads of civic ceremonies. So citizenship ceremonies, I'm the person that gives the citizenship certificates to people when they get naturalised as a British citizen in Lambeth. I'm also the person who chairs full council. So that's, I think, the big responsibility is the chair of full council. So that place where we have loads of different meetings, where we have motions, we just agree the budget, policies, all of that stuff. I'm the one who oversees that meeting and makes sure we get through business.
Wow. How often do you do that?
So that's every couple of months. Early in the year, they tend to be quite regular.
Right.
So we just had big budget council meeting last Wednesday.
And you make sure everyone stays in line, but also everyone gets heard and everything
Yeah,
like
all that stuff. And technically, I'm politically neutral as well, and that's because obviously there's different political parties in the chamber, and so I can't be favourable to one or the other. So have to be above all of the party politics.
Wow, that's a lot to do, especially if you hear something that you don't completely agree with, but you have to make sure everybody's heard.
Mm-hmm.
And just to go back, so if somebody becomes a citizen in Lambeth.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Do people not just come and become a citizen in the UK?
Yeah, so you get your British citizenship, but then I think depending on where you live, you can choose where to do a ceremony. And so some people, when they get the certificate, if they live in Lambeth, they'll do it at the town hall. And that means I get the privilege of being able to give it to them and take a picture of them and celebrate them on that day.
Wow.
Cool.
So if they live there, then it automatically goes to you?
Yeah.
That's incredible. I never even thought about what borough you live in would make a difference to that.
So it's really cool actually. It's a really happy, celebratory moment when people come in, they get their family there, maybe some friends, and we just take a nice picture. It's a big journey for a lot of people. So.
Yeah, and some people must have been waiting a while for that.
Yeah. So it's really, really cool. But that's a really wholesome day. But then other stuff as mayor is supporting different charities and organisations, and then also what else do I do? the big civic things like Remembrance Sunday. So I lead a lot of those services, that kind of stuff as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
I
much.
oversaw the count for the MPs as well in the general election.
Wow.
So I was the person who announced the results.
That's incredible.
Yeah, cool.
And that's a lot for the youngest mayor of Lambeth ever. Wow, right?
Yeah.
So you were 27 when you got inaugurated.
Yeah, 27 when I got elected.
Wow,
And I'm the youngest in London as well right now. Not the longest ever, but youngest right now.
That's just so impressive. And I guess you want to keep inspiring younger people to come and do it.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think, because like I said, you said I'm 27, well, I've just turned 28. But that's not even that young. I shouldn't be the youngest at that age.
Yeah.
I think the youngest should be 20.
Yeah, politics and younger people would be amazing. That's something I would love to see.
Yeah.
So let's just take it right back to the beginning. So what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you always want to be in politics?
No. I think as a lot of young people, I want to be a footballer. Dreams of playing for Arsenal, being at the Emirates, scoring a goal. And then I used to sell sweets in school, playground. I thought maybe I would get into business, be on The Apprentice or something. Nice. I never really thought politics was my thing. No one in my family spoke about politics. No one's really that politically engaged. None of my family went to uni. So never really saw the kind of political world as anything that I could do, or even, it didn't even really occur to me as an option. And then when I was 17, I remember my mum passed away. And I went to school the next day. And the world moved on. It was a really weird kind of moment for me, because she was a great person, but it felt very much like no one really cared.
Yeah.
Everyone just kind of, life goes on, right, for other people. So then I had this big kind of crisis of legacy. I wanted to do something that made a longer lasting impact. So then I kind of just threw myself into all sorts of political things, just trying to do something that made a difference so that I wouldn't just be forgotten when my time came.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's incredible. Taking something like that happening and turning it into something so powerful is an amazing thing to do. Because you said, it's so hard, isn't it, when something happens and then the world just keeps spinning. You're like, hello, something huge is happening to me, and everybody just carries on.
And I think that was my first I think that happens to a lot of people when they have their first experience of loss. But yeah, so that was mine. That threw me into like all sorts of just trying to get involved in stuff, and then still didn't really understand if it was politics. I just wanted to do something impactful. Became a member of a political party.
How did you do that?
So I actually spoke to a teacher at school,
right?
And I was like, I want to do this. I want to be Prime Minister. I'm going to do something that, because I live in Lambeth. I live one bus away from Westminster. How can I just drift through life and do something insignificant? I have the ability to do something that makes a big splash. So I spoke to my teacher and they said, go on the party's website, sign up. And as simple as that, went on the party website, found the young area of my political party. I don't want to say it on the podcast.
No, I understand. That's cool. Fine.
Especially as mayor as well.
Yeah, of course.
Neutral.
Stick to the rules.
Yeah. But I'm a Labour councillor, so I guess I'm allowed to say it. But signed up on the Young Labour website back in like 2014. Signed up to be a member, and then started going to like random events. You get notifications, going to all sorts. Felt a little bit like it wasn't really too much for me as well. I think there's a very particular type of person that joins political parties as a teenager, and there wasn't really anyone that was like kind of like me or from my background. So I didn't really engage with it too much, then stopped going to stuff. Was still a member, but didn't engage that much. And then happened to bump into somebody at an event who was starting up this program called the Advocacy Academy, which is like a youth social justice program. So got involved in that and then learned all about like campaigning, social justice, all types of like political issues and how to tackle them, which was like a really empowering moment. It's like a whole, took me on like it's like a whole social justice journey. It was a year-long fellowship, really, really powerful, like life-changing.
That's incredible.
For me, yeah.
Did you have to apply to do that?
Yeah,
and get accepted?
So I was on the first wave, the first cohort.
Right.
But yeah, the program is still running now, so they accept people every year. But if you're like between the ages of 16, 17, 18, something like that, you can apply to be on the program, and they teach you all about different social justice.
So if you hadn't gone to them events, you wouldn't have met that person and you wouldn't have signed up.
So the big thing for me was just to say yes to everything. The event I actually met the lady at, I got the notification on my phone at school, and I was like, I was gonna get in trouble. I had my phone out, and as my teacher was coming over to confiscate my phone, I replied yes to attend, and then got my phone confiscated. I had to go get it at the end of the day. So I took that chance. I took that risk and just said yes to everything, and yeah. Which
is like such a powerful thing. Like Shonda Rhimes, who's a completely different industry, but she says the same. She's like, just say yes to everything, go to the events, meet the people, like because that's how you're going to get places, is by meeting the people. Even by starting this podcast, just reaching out as a chance and emailing you and be like, would you be into it?
Yeah.
Some people would be like, why would you even think to reach out? But if you don't ask the question, you've not lost anything. Like
you don't buy a ticket, you don't win the lottery.
That's like, exactly it.
Say yes to absolutely everything, show up to everything, and there's something will happen. You never know what can happen.
How wonderful, because you're Lambeth through and through, right? Like born there.
Born and bred, yeah.
And you always want to stay in Lambeth?
Yeah, I think so. I can't imagine living anywhere else in London.
Yeah.
I don't see why I would.
Well, you're doing so well there.
Thank you.
So you were doing all these things, and did you have to do it alongside other stuff, like jobs or studying, or was it just your whole world?
So, it was my whole world, to the detriment of a lot of other stuff as well. So like, I was still doing all the campaigning stuff while I was at school. Then went to uni. First person in my family and my mum decided to go to uni.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Then dropped out of uni. But a lot of that was because I couldn't juggle a lot of the campaigning and the organising stuff I was doing in person with uni life, which was outside of London. And I decided to focus on the more like real life kind of political work I was doing rather than the hypothetical stuff I was learning at uni, which felt very, very disconnected from reality.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So I was studying PPE.
Right.
Like philosophy, politics and economics. Doing a lot of like theory-based stuff. But I was learning a lot of like organising techniques and campaigning and things on the ground, and that felt much more, I guess, impactful and powerful. I didn't want to wait. I was very much of that mindset. I don't want to wait 10 years till someone tells me I'm ready now to do work. I want to be able to do it now. And so I was very impatient, and so just kept doing the work in real life. And yeah, ended up dropping out of uni, which was a big risk and a big challenge.
Huge, yeah. But thank God you did. I know you mean there's a big difference, like sitting down and doing something, but actually being out there at the events. Like it's such, you've got to be a certain type of person to want to be amongst the people, and I feel like if that's where it fitted you best, then thank God you did that, because it's made a difference. So you became councillor, and then when did you realise you wanted to be a mayor?
So I also didn't even know I wanted to be a councillor at first. I still been a member of the Labour Party, been doing bits here and there, helping out and stuff, showing up to meetings. But I think it was around 2021, I decided I actually wanted to then be on the other side of the table. I think I was always getting, I got a bit fed up of always talking to someone in a position of power, but not being on the decision-making side myself, or having someone that looked like me or sounded like me being in those spaces. So I was like, I want to be a councillor. I spoke to my local councillor, and they said applications are actually open now for the next election, which would have been in 2022. So applied, managed to go through the process, get selected by the membership, and then elected in 2022 as councillor for the area I live in, where I'm from, which is very, very cool. So I get casework sometimes when I'm walking my dog, which is fine.
Wow.
Yeah, one of my neighbours knocked on my door the other day as well to complain about something. But that's what I'm here for.
Everyone knows where you are, so there's no really escaping
Yeah,
from
exactly.
the job.
So my job becomes my life.
Yeah.
So it's not like a 9 to 5, I can't park it when I leave the office, which is also a little bit,
It's a lot, because I think in your position, you probably also feel like a bit guilty for taking the time off, because there's so much to do.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are relying on you, not to put pressure on you, but you're representing a lot of people, which is a wonderful honour, but it's also it can have a huge impact on you as a person.
Yeah, these chains are heavy.
Yeah, what are these chains? Please tell me.
Yeah, so these are the official mayoral chains of Lambeth. Every borough has a chain and a badge, but ours are the only ones that look like this. Ours are the coolest.
They are really cool.
Ours are historically they're sheriff's chains, high sheriffs.
Wow.
So we're the only borough in London that has chains that look like this.
And how long has it looked like that?
So since the story's actually on the back inscribed.
Oh, nice.
But I think it's since sometime in the 1800s. Wow. I think the original chain of Lambeth was stolen in 1927. Yeah, so this is actually a remake.
Did they catch who stole it?
It's a mystery.
So nobody knows where that original is?
Probably melted down, but yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Someone's
everywhere.
gonna find it in their loft or something. It is cool. Incredible. Do you wear this where you go? You're really proud of it?
Yeah, not to Tesco, but official engagements when I'm there on the job. Yeah, I have to wear the chain.
I love that. It is amazing. Do you get to keep it?
No, so it gets passed.
Oh yeah, of course, because it's the same one. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard.
But we get a little badge to say pass there. So that's nice.
That is really nice. Yeah. And do they give you that once you get inaugurated? Is it on that day?
Yeah. So there's a kind of a handing over. So on the 23rd of April, when I sit down as mayor for the next mayor, I will pass it over onto him.
Which is soon.
Yeah, it's coming up.
What's been the greatest achievement of the last year?
That's a good question. That's a big question. I think it's kind of difficult to tell right now, because I think the impact I really wanted to have was about inspiring young people. And so if over the next few years, we can see more young people from our community getting involved and engaging, and maybe even becoming a mayor at some point in the future, or becoming a councillor at least, elections are coming up next year, then that will be a big success, because it was all about how do we connect with our young people, how do we show them different pathways and options that are out there for them, and help get them.
I mean, you'll be a lot of people's role models right now, being that young, because even in that, the other positions and even in other countries, people in power are a lot older than what we are. And
I think the average age for a councillor in the UK is in their 60s.
Really?
Yeah.
It's wild. I mean, I know they have so much knowledge and they have such a career, but I just think it's just such a gap, isn't it, from us who are the younger people who are going to start making the difference. It feels like a long way to look at that person as a role model. They've seen really far away.
And some of them are amazing at what they do, and they're really, really nice people, but young people do disconnect. It's if you when I go to a school, for example, young people, they see me wearing my Air Forces, my trainers, and they connect with me because of that.
Yeah.
But it's even, no matter what you say, the young person is going to switch off if you're from a different demographic or age group.
Yeah, of course.
But also, I think partly why we have so many older councillors is time.
Yeah.
Because it's a part-time role as a councillor. You don't get paid a lot of money to be a councillor, so you can't commit time. So a lot of them are retired.
Right.
If you're juggling a full-time job, and you can't, it's really difficult to have a full-time role, career, maybe children if you're of the right age, and then
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That would
As well.
make sense then, I guess, when people have freer time, it'd be that age group. The only thing is, you look at it and you feel like, oh, I can't do that until I'm 60. So you're like, oh, I'll do something else. Like, and then people wait, and then it's kind of just, it's a continued cycle.
Yeah.
But that is interesting, like on the pay front for being a counsellor. So do people kind of see it more of like a side hustle?
Maybe.
Because you couldn't really live off it if you're being paid on. But I can imagine it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's also like kind of what you get out. Like what you put in is what you get out. So in a way, really, you could put in very little as a counsellor, but then you wouldn't be able to do much, affect much change or help many people. But I think a lot of counsellors I know work so hard. But yeah, you don't really get paid a lot to be a counsellor. So
you've got to be really passionate about it.
Yeah, you have to genuinely care. No one would want to be a counsellor unless they actually wanted to do something that made a difference, either in local politics or maybe they have their sights a bit further on into Parliament or something, but they want to get somewhere, they want to do something. It's the only reason you'd be a counsellor. Wow. It's a very thankless task.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I feel like obviously they're doing an amazing job, but also a lot of people would maybe have a lot of negative to say or would moan about it.
Which is also very fair as well, because a lot of people have, their own negative experiences with councils, of housing issues and all sorts, which is, so, their opinions and their feelings about stuff is not invalid. It's 100% fair enough. But yes, it's a difficult environment to juggle.
Which is so nice to hear it from your side, because like you don't really hear from the politicians a lot in this kind of manner, and I think that's the whole point of this. Is like, it's a wonderful thing to be like, you can do this. There are a few steps. There is hard work involved, and that's what I really want people to know as well. Like, things don't happen overnight. Like, it does genuinely take a lot of hard work in a lot of different aspects, and you will be juggling many different things. Like, didn't you get engaged this year?
Yeah, in the last year.
Wow, so you've had a huge year, which is amazing. And I, like, with having a partner, it requires a lot of patience. Like, does being a mayor come first a lot in this year? Because I guess you only have a year, right?
Yeah, you only have a year. So told her, it's only a year, so I'm gonna have to put a lot of time into it. So we hadn't gone on any holidays or anything.
Really?
Any breaks away, and you just like, there's a lot, especially last year when I became mayor, there's also a lot of elections. There's a general election. We had the London mayoral election. So loads of things are going on that are in and around the same time. So I felt a bit bad about that.
Hey, well, at least you put a ring on it. So.
Yeah, that's true. She can't say I'm not committed.
Yeah, exactly. In being a mayor, what's one of the scariest things, or one of like something you've had to really overcome?
Scary.
Has there been like a big decision that you're like, this is something that could have gone either way, or something you didn't expect from being a mayor that you're like, this is a lot of pressure?
I think the biggest probably like challenge in that way I've had is, so as mayor I don't have any actual decision-making power because I'm the chair, so I oversee a lot of things, but I'm not the one who dictates policy because I'm technically politically neutral and kind of sit outside of that. But the amount of people and need you see that comes your way, because people assume as mayor you are that person who is, kind of the king of the borough almost, in a weird way. I mean, the chains probably give that impression. So you see a lot of like the really negative stuff as well. You see a lot of the things that people are going through, and then having to deal with that and not actually being that person that can make that difference, or be able to just make it happen, because it's. So I think that's been the most probably challenging thing is trying to maybe then direct it in the right places where it can get help, but there's a lot that comes your way. So I think that's quite.
A lot that like we don't see or would even know about, or that you'd expect before you got into it. Yeah,
I think I mean, there's cost of living crisis. There's so many different things going on. I'm sure it's the same everywhere, and there's so many people struggling in so many different ways, and there's finite resources, and everyone is trying their best to help people. But you hear some really horrible stories about people going through a lot of bad stuff. So
it's a lot to manage.
Yeah, just kind of being on that.
I've never really.
And everyone blaming you in a way as well.
Yeah.
Which obviously is not their fault, that they're going through a negative experience, and then they just want to help.
And they're looking to someone who they see in a position of power. But I've never really realised how little decision making you have being mayor, which is crazy. Is a year long enough? Like, do you wish that you could be in longer, or do you wish like the overall was just a bit longer, or is a year enough to get somebody else in?
So this is where I can make my case for next year, right?
Absolutely.
A year's not long enough.
Really? And can you be elected again?
You can't do back-to-back years. So I think with mayor, I think it depends what you want to get out of it. I think for some people it is long enough. I think some people it's very much like they get to go to loads of charity events, they get to support communities. It's kind of like a big celebration. They get to do loads of really fun things and then they leave. And a year of that is probably enough. You probably get sick of it after a while. But with what I've been trying to do, which is a lot of like engaging with young people, it's kind of like a snowball effect. Over time, you build more momentum. I've engaged with like social media personalities and some celebrities and stuff, and all of that. You kind of build a brand around that, and that takes a bit of time. And as we gain more and more momentum, it almost feels like now it's gonna come to an end at the end of the year. But how do we build on that? How do we keep using that platform to reach out to more young people and show them that they actually can reach these kind of places and do really cool things?
Yeah, because a year flies. It's no time at all.
Everyone told me that as well before I started.
Yeah.
It's going to fly by. And I was like, yeah, I know. But it still doesn't make,
Yeah, because it just happens. And with you being so busy, then it goes even faster.
That's the thing as well. Because we do like every single day, sometimes like 12, 14 hour days. Wow. And sometimes we don't get like a single day off for like 3 weeks in a row.
It's wild.
Yeah.
And like you said, you haven't had like trips or time to yourself in that way.
I'm always ill.
Yeah, well, I said I was like, yesterday you did sound quite poorly.
Yeah, so I'm feeling a lot better today, but
good.
Yeah, no, I keep getting like sick as well. Just my body just run down.
It's just like exhaustion.
Yeah, I think so.
Putting in all the work. So I know you mentioned it slightly there, but what are the next steps for you? Like it is to keep building on your message. What are the plans? Because obviously it's next month, right?
yeah. Pressure. So I think long term it's just to keep being in a position where I can make as big a positive impact as I can. Whether that is as a councillor or outside, whatever that looks like, I'm not 100% sure yet. I just want to keep making a positive impact, which sounds cheesy, but that's the goal. I'm still a councillor after I finish being mayor. I'll still be a councillor for at least until May 2026, which is the next local elections. Hopefully get re-elected, and then that'll be another 4 years. But yeah, I'm not really 100% sure what form that kind of impact takes, but we'll see.
Do you have like a team of people helping you, or is it really like you lead the charge and find people who fit into that? So
as a councillor, don't have a team that supports you in like your casework and stuff. As mayor, I do have some support officers. So I have 2, and yeah, a lot of the, I guess, the planning and what you kind of want to do with your year and your time is very much led by you. We also, unfortunately, the person who was one of the support officers in the mayor's team was doing it for 25 years and passed away.
Oh my gosh!
Just before I became mayor, yeah.
25 years.
Yeah, so basically almost as long as I've been alive.
Wow.
And then passed away. And she was amazing at what she did, and everyone like raves about her. And so there is a little bit of that kind of like institutional memory lost a little bit in terms of like, kind of activities that we normally do. So also I kind of had a free hit, like kind of reinventing the wheel a little bit of what mayoralty can be, which is fun, but also then you're kind of left to your own devices.
It's a bit daunting.
Yeah.
Like I think it's like nice to look to those people and be like, is this what we're meant to do?
Yeah.
Like, is this right?
But I've had a lot of guidance from like past mayors who are still around, and some of my support officers have been there for a couple of years, in various roles in and around the team and stuff, so they do know. Yeah. And that's been quite good. And then we have a wider team that kind of oversees the mayor's office, who know everything as well. So it's not going to be completely left alone, but
I think it's good to know that you need people to help you. Like 100%. You need people around you. You can't really do anything on your own, right? No matter what like you have planned or what message you want to get out, you still need the support of people around you.
And even if it's like friends or family as well.
Yeah, 100%. Because are your family like super supportive and amazing?
Well, they are now. I think before, when I was like not really doing a lot of work in terms of like getting a job, and I was doing a lot of like focusing my energy and time on the campaigning stuff in the early days before I got actually elected as a councillor. Yeah. They didn't really see the payoff or the benefit. I didn't have a degree. I wasn't then clearly studying towards anything. I wasn't getting paid a lot of money for what I was doing. So for them, it was like an intangible waste of time. And so they weren't that supportive back then, but they are now.
It's like that pressure when you're younger, like, how are you going to make money? What are you going to do? And you're like, I don't know, I'm 17. Like, it's like scary. But I get where they're coming from as well, because it's always like building towards the future and the planning and all of that kind of stuff. I think it's really exciting to see what you're going to do, because I know you do a lot of charity work as well, right? So you have like a couple of main charities.
Yeah, so as mayor, we get to pick 1 or 2 charities we support. So mine this year are YPM, which is Young People Matter, which is a charity based in the estate I grew up on, which is really cool. I used to play for their football team when I was in year 9. But they basically like support loads of young people in around like half terms, after school clubs, stuff like that. Really do really good intervention work, and also some stuff with older people as well. And then Brixton Street Gym, which is obviously organisation based around like physical fitness, but also the very holistic approach to like health and well-being, like mental health stuff. And they kind of also act like as a hub of the community. So there's loads of other charities based there as well. They do great work.
That's incredible. Were you aware of them? Like, I know you played for the football team for the first one, but were you aware of the Brixton Street Gym?
Yeah. I mean, you can't tell, but I used to go there.
Like, you know these places, and they're kind of in your mind when you become mayor. You're like, these are my focus, and it's nice. Yeah. And when you say you get to support them, is that like, what does that mean? That you just represent them, or you're like?
So represent them, go to their events, but also get to raise money. So we have like a mayor's charity pot, so that people can donate money to it. We do fundraisers and stuff like that, and then all of that money goes straight to her. So at the end of my year, they'll get an even split of whatever we've raised throughout the year.
Oh, how exciting! Yeah. They must be like feel so honoured as well that you're going to be such a part of it and help them and raise awareness. Like even from those people hearing it, I think that would be really wonderful because they're also trying to help people. It's like just a constant cycle of people trying to help people, and
that's what community is as well, right? We help each other, then we can.
Absolutely. And so young people trying to get into politics or want to be mayor or councillor, like what values do they need? What advice could you give them?
I think I give them like 3 bits of advice. One would be everything happens for a reason. I think I obviously went through something quite dramatic and then turned that into something positive, and I think there's a big message of that, like no matter what you're going through, you can always turn it into something positive if you just keep moving forwards. Like that thing that happened with my mum, I definitely wouldn't be where I am today if it didn't happen, because I wouldn't have gone in the direction I did. So everything happens for a reason. Also, I think work out why you want to get into politics. Find out your why. I think politics is a really good tool to make change, but if you're getting into politics for the sake of being in politics, I don't think it's the right decision. So I think find out your why and the way of doing that is either what makes you really angry. So for me, I was angry about a lot of stuff, a lot of like injustice on my estate, just everything that's going on. Like we had so many rats in my estate when I was growing up.
It's like a big drive, is that anger that makes you...
Yeah, massively. So find out what makes you angry, what is it, hone in on that. And if you can't think of that, also think about what makes you really happy, like what are you really passionate about, and combining that together in some form, you'll find your why, and then use that to guide where you want to get to. And then the other bit of advice, what was it? I said 3 and I've given 2. Oh no, that's embarrassing.
It will come.
Yeah. Maybe not now. I'll come back to it.
Well, that's like perfect, because I think it's nice to show that you've turned something like anger and also everything that happened with your mum into something that's really positive. And I think that is a wonderful message in itself. Like it doesn't have to stop there, or it doesn't have to define you, but it can also make something really incredible in your life. And that's what you've done, which is so exciting.
Thank you.
I love that. Well, I think that's everything. I so appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to hear what you do next. I think it's going to be amazing.
Thank you very much. Hopefully.
It will be.
Cool.
Thanks. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you like and subscribe so we can continue to make these and keep teaching people how to become A. Thank you.